The virtual world is an escape from real life. You can be whatever you want and do whatever you like if you have the right resources, or as they say in the gaming community, the right items. Just like real life, the best item is a major symbol of wealth and power. That's why it's not surprising that gamers are notorious for spending big money on virtual items to improve their experience. How far has anybody ever gone though? What's the most anyone ever spent on virtual items? This video is an exclusive, behind-the-scenes look at some of the most expensive virtual purchases ever made. Let's get started. Number 10. Sword, $16,000. Game, Age of Wushu. Imagine paying $16,000 for a sword. That sounds a little extra, but nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, what about a sword in a game? A virtual sword? Now it's starting to sound a little crazy, but there's more. Imagine dropping $16,000 for a virtual sword from an MMO that hasn't even been released. Now that sounds truly insane, but apparently not, especially if you're a gentleman who forked out 16 grand on a mighty sword from the martial arts-inspired game, Age of Wushu. Age of Wushu, released in 2012, is a game that has a plot that takes place somewhere in Ming Dynasty China and uses weaponry modeled after the same era. When the company was rounding off initial beta testing, they realized they didn't have enough to move to launch, so they needed to raise money for the official launch. Luckily, there was an in-game sword that could bring in the funds. It was sold to raise money for the launch. Number 9. Treasure Island, $26,500. Game, ENTROPIA. Ever wish you had your private island? Wait, scratch that. Who hasn't? Who doesn't want to have some private time watching the birds fly over the sea and having a lovely day basking in the sun without having to catch a wayward beach ball every minute? As nice as that sounds, it's not exactly as easy, since private islands are not exactly on display for everybody, and when they are, they cost arms and legs. Well, nowadays, you don't have to hold off your dreams on being an island landlord. You can own your virtual real estate for $26,000. Of course, this isn't just something we hope would happen at some point, it's already been done. Back when Project Entropia hosted its first ever virtual auction in 2004, a virtual real estate developer dropped $26,500 on Treasure Island. The same came with all the island's rights, including the right to tax other players' real-world money for treasure hunting on the land. The sale of the island was the first auction of its kind, and it set the tone for the rest of the virtual world. $26,000 sounds fair when you think of how much private islands cost in the real world, plus the owner makes money off the island, so it does sound like a win for everybody. Before we move on, leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be the first watching new episodes. Number 8. Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog, $38,000. Game, DOTA 2. Number 8, and the first living thing on the list, well, sort of, is Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog. The $38,000 item comes from none other than the game DOTA 2. Okay, quick lesson for those that don't know Dota, side by side by the way. Considered by many as one of the greatest games of all time, the Dota franchise popularized the exciting battle arena genre. Even today, it's held its place at the forefront of the gaming industry, boasting a massive base of players and fans. Dota was popular, alright, but still, nobody would have ever imagined that any player would drop a whopping $38,000 on an in-game pet. In the buyer's defense, it's not just any pet. It's the Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog. I mean, look at it. Isn't it cute? That and only 5 are known to exist. No one knows whether that influenced the buyer's decision, but we know that it cost him enough to land the number 8 spot on our most expensive virtual item list. Number 7. Amsterdam, $50,000. Game, Second Life. Oh, Amsterdam. If there's one city that represents the getaway lifestyle, it's Amsterdam. Everyone's heard of Amsterdam. The Netherlands capital is known for its exciting nightlife. But apart from that, it's an excellent destination for tourists and business people. Green life, architecture, great food, it has all you can imagine. No doubt, it's a must-see destination for anyone visiting Europe. Amsterdam is great, it really is. The question is whether it's great enough for anybody to buy it. The answer to that question is yes. And it came up when a top bidder paid $50,000 on the virtual city from the famous life simulator, Second Life. A replicator of its real-life model, the virtual city is popular among players looking for, well, adult services, to put it mildly. Interestingly, the buyer is from the Netherlands, and he plans to grow the city into a bustling hub for all types of players. Number 6. Souvenir AWP Dragon Lore Sniper Skin, $61,000. Game, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. What kind of list would this be if it doesn't have an item from Counter-Strike? The game is known for offering regular in-game items for prices that fall more on the high side. This time around, it's a unique skin that wraps around the exterior of your favorite in-game sniper rifle. Here's the thing though, it's merely cosmetic and offers no in-game advantage. But wait, there's more. The one-of-a-kind item that features a fire-breathing dragon was gifted randomly to a lucky player during a major esports competition. A little while after the competition, the skin was listed on a CSGO auction site. The winning bid? An insane $61,000. Now that's the kind of item you want in your gaming auction. Number 5, the Nest Egg, $70,000. Game, ENTROPIA. Dubbed the Nest Egg, partly because of where it came from and its exorbitant price, this virtual egg is the spawn of the all-powerful Aatrox Queen, and it sold several years back for a mind-boggling $70,000. What does it do, exactly? Up until recently, not a whole lot. But after 6 years of waiting, it finally hatched, and the owner finally found out what they ended up getting for that much money. Unfortunately, the owner had to hold off celebrating. What came out of the shell was a cunning beast named Fefox, whose sole mission was to destroy the planet CALYPSO. Luckily, Entropia's players came together for an exciting event where they managed to take the evil demon down. Hooray! As for the owner, well, let's hope this virtual investor didn't put all his eggs in one basket. Number 4, the Moon, $150,000. Game, ENTROPIA. The moon landing was a revolutionary period in the history of humanity. It proved that nothing is out of reach as long as you can dream. Since then, the moon has represented the most outstanding achievement of humanity. Entropia is a virtual sci-fi world that takes place in galaxies far away. Like its real-world counterpart, the homeworld of the virtual Adventureland has its own moon. That moon is now under the ownership of an investor group. But why would anybody want to own the moon? Well, if you knew that you could tax other players' real-world money to mine resources on it, you'd probably be trying to get your hands on the deed to the space rock too. The only problem is whether or not you can afford it. It cost the group a total of $150,000 to claim ownership of the satellite. Number 3, Crystal Palace, $330,000. Game, ENTROPIA. Still in virtual Entropia for number 3 on this list of virtual items. This time, the item in question is none other than the Crystal Palace. What's that? Oh, it's just a totally awesome virtual space station that doubles as a major tourist hub. How much did it cost the owner? Just a little above $300,000. For Buzz Eric Lightyear, though, it's a small price to pay. The owner recoups his huge investment by charging other players real money to visit his floating metal hunk. Talk about a real steal. It's not hard to see why he chose to spend so much. The famed space station is one of the most popular attractions in Entropia, and for the right amount, you could visit too. Every $1 is worth 10 Project Entropia dollars, so you might want to start saving up to get in on the action too. Number 2, Club NEVERDIE, $635,000. Game, Entropia. At this point, it's no longer news that Entropia has some of the most expensive items in the virtual world. And then there's John Jacobs, the owner of the game's top attractions, Club NEVERDIE, where gamers from across the galaxy would assemble for a rousing good time. And they pay big money too. After running the nightclub for several years and making a truckload of money, this entrepreneur was ready to move on to other things. So he put up his prized property for auction and waited to see how it would all play out. It turned out to be the right call because he made out like a bandit on the deal when a player bought it for $635,000. Number 1, Planet CALYPSO, $6 million. There are a lot of reasons why the game Entropia is popular among gaming professionals and enthusiasts. For one, Entropia is known for its real-world economy, where dollars can be exchanged for in-game currency. It's a successful MMORPG where folks who buy virtual real estate can earn cash from renting out land or selling deeds to plots. Like the real world, investors can make some serious green if they play their cards right. Also, while you can buy stars and own parts of asteroids in real life, at least if you have enough cash, in the game Entropia, you can own an entire planet. A company named C Virtual Worlds showed that when they negotiated a deal to buy the planet CALYPSO from MindArc Studios. The famous planet CALYPSO, aka the homeworld of Entropia, was listed for sale a few years back and sold for an unbelievable price, $6 million. No, we're not kidding. Yes, that's an actual money, as in the kind of money you would spend in the real world. Although the planet eventually reverted to MindArc's control, it's still enough to make Planet CALYPSO from Entropia #1 on the list of the most expensive virtual items ever. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and let us know what we should feature next. Don't forget to subscribe for new and upcoming episodes.